So here's how you do exercise in section 1. First thing to do is to go to this URL, corp.aiclub.world, and sign up for an account. So you can just click login. And you'll see an option that says basically need an account. Okay, so go ahead and click on need an account. Say that you're a student and then continue with Google. That should be fine. It'll help you, ask you to select one of your Google accounts. So go ahead and select whichever one you like. And once now you've got an account. Now, what you need to do is you'll have an avatar here. Just go ahead and click on your avatar and it will have an option that says go to Navigator. So Navigator is the tool that we will be using to build some of our AIs in this class. And it is a front-end tool to a bunch of really powerful AI systems that are used in real life, including Python, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, and others. So now you'll end up in a screen like this. Click Create an AI Service. Give it any name you like. I'm going to call mine Mood Demo Harker. No need to click on that tab that says Select Pixida Sheets. Just go ahead and create a name. Once you have that, then it will ask you where your data is, because AIs learn from data. Now we are going to be using text data, so leave it this way and select Simple Storage Service and say that you are selecting AIClub datasets, because we are going to start with a dataset that's already there. And the file we want to use is called mood project 3 full, or mood project 3, sorry, .csv. Mood project 3.csv. As you learn more, you will create your own datasets, but for now we are going to just use a dataset that's already there. So now this is what this dataset looks like. And so take a moment to study this dataset and look at what it has. The first thing you should notice is that it has 2 columns, feeling and sentence. It's a supervised learning AI because we want to predict the feeling and we are telling the AI what the right answer for the feeling is. Then we are giving it lots and lots of examples of that feeling. And you can see that some of the examples for sad have actually the word sad in them, but most real world examples, you don't necessarily say that you're sad when you are. You might say things like, I don't feel great today, or I miss my friend, and things like that. So this data set was actually gathered by students like you, and it was crowdsourced from students like you, and it reflects how people think of the moods, and it has 300 examples. So after you're done studying this data set a little bit, go ahead and click Import Dataset. Okay, that should be done. Once Import Dataset is done, then you will go into the next area, which is called Feature Engineering. Now, the most important thing you want to know about feature engineering is that you have to now tell the AI what you want to predict, and then it has to prepare the data in order to make it ready for it to learn. So the first thing is it has 2 columns. We want to predict feeling, not sentence. So we want to say, I want to predict feeling, and click Apply. Many things are happening in this stage, but the most important things you want to know is that it's trying to figure out what type of AI problem this is. And then the second thing is that computer programs in general can only deal with numbers. So it is taking your sentences and the words happy and sad and pretty much just converting everything into a set of numbers that it can eventually learn from. So this will take about 30 seconds. And now you can see that it's done. Now, one little tip to know is that whenever any of the stages complete, you should get a green check mark, knowing that it's happy. If you do not get a green check mark, tell your teacher, because then something is wrong and we have to look into what it is. So now in this case, now the AI has created data for it to learn from. Now it's going to train. Now training is the process where the AIs learn patterns from the data and they create from those patterns kind of a brain, if you will, called a model. So we are going to, since this is our first AI, we're going to use automatic training and just click on train. So once the training is done, then the AI will be ready for you to ask questions of it. And then we can ask it questions and see what it has learned. So this will also take about a minute or so. Okay, so now it's trained and it is deploying. You can see that it actually tried 3 different kinds of AIs, decided this one was the best one, and it's going to basically put this into a program for you to use. We'll wait for our green check mark. Okay, green check mark is done. So now we have our AI, first AI ready to use. And remember, This AI should be able to take any sentence you type into it and it will predict whether you're happy or sad. So now let's see how well it works. Once you've built your AI, go to the retrain tab and then start asking it questions. You can ask it any question you like. And try to get a sense of what it knows and what it doesn't know. Now remember, it only learned from 300 examples, so it's not realistic to assume it knows everything, but it should have figured out at least some things. So I'm going to try, I am sad. Let's see what it got. I am sad. Good. What about another one? Simple. I am happy. Okay, got that one too. What about if I say I am crying? Ah, now see, this one's not good. But what if I say I am, let's see, I am having a bad day. So it doesn't seem to know what crying is. Okay, so now it knows that's sad, even though I didn't actually use the word sad. So explore it a little bit and try to figure out what it knows and what it doesn't know. Now, what do we do if there's something it doesn't know? Okay, so let's try that I am crying again. Okay, we know that it thinks it's happy. Now I want to fix this. I scroll down and say, this prediction is wrong. So then it will ask you, okay, what do you think the answer should be? I can either pick an answer from my existing set or I can import an entirely different emotion. So let's start by saying, okay, this one I want to say is sad. Okay. Click submit. Now you can provide as much feedback as you like, but just remember that it's not going to learn it until it actually trains again. So whenever you're ready for it to train again, go ahead and click retrain. Okay, this should also take about a minute. Okay, so now it has done. Now let's try this question again. I am crying. What do you think now? Okay, now it thinks I'm sad, so it actually learned. Now keep in mind that it doesn't always learn the first time. It actually needs a lot of information to create a pattern, so sometimes it might learn the first time, sometimes you might need to repeat it. Now what if I wanted to teach it a new emotion? Supposing I said, I am angry. It thinks I'm sad because ultimately it only knows two answers, happy or sad. If I want to teach it a new emotion, then similar kind of thing, I say this prediction is wrong. But this time I don't want to pick from an existing category. I want to say, no, I'm going to teach you a new emotion called angry. So now it has data about a new emotion called angry. Whenever you're ready to do that, be done with that, then you can click retrain. And then you can teach the AI as many emotions as you like. Just remember that it has a lot of examples of happy and sad. And so unless you give it a decent number of examples of your new emotion, it's not going to be able to do as well on that one as happy or sad, but you can keep interacting with it and it will get smarter, the more you interact with it. So it might be able to capture the word angry right now, but it might not be able to capture things like I am really mad at my friend or something like that. So I got this, but it's very unlikely to get anything more sophisticated about angry. So now you know how to build your first AI and you know how to query it, see how well it does, and then how to teach it new things. And what you really want to think about is how well it learns from data and recognize that the data is the most important thing so far that we have learned on how to make it better. Thank you.